The movie begins with a radio broadcast of conversations about technical problems at a nuclear power plant, set against changing opening credits. Early in the morning, a young girl, Hannah, rides her bike through the forest in strong winds. By the pond, her friend Micah is waiting for her. They strip naked, swim, leaving their clothes on the dock, and chat. The girls plan to leave their provincial hometown of Schlitz, where they both live and go to school. 2 teenage boys arrive, one of them Micah's younger brother, and laughing, run off with their clothes. Hannah goes home dressed, in a plastic bag. Everyone laughs at her cheeky look. After breakfast, her mother drives her and her brother to school, but Hannah still arrives late for the first lesson. In class, her friend returns the bag of clothes, from which one of the boys immediately pulls out her swimsuit, joking and laughing. Red with embarrassment, Hannah snatches her clothes back. Not knowing the lesson, she mumbles something incoherent in response to the teacher's questions about photosynthesis. New classmate Elmar Koch answers for her, impressing both the teacher and the students with his knowledge. After classes, Hannah goes to study in the library, where she bumps into the boy again. He stares at his pretty classmate, practically devouring her with his eyes. Her friend Maike arranges with Elmar to get help for an exam, though most likely, she just wants to flirt with the handsome and, rumor has it, very rich newcomer. And Elmar can't resist the prospect of getting Hannah to come over to his place. He drives home from school loaded with drinks and snacks. He finds a small cupcake with a candle and an envelope of money. Apparently, it's his birthday. That evening, both girls come over to his house. In the courtyard of a luxurious mansion, Hannah and Elmar chat and drink Coke, while at the same time, several boys from their class break into the house. Elmar tries to drive the uninvited guests away, and that's when his parents return. His mother is seriously ill, barely able to walk, and her husband gently helps her out of the car. The bullies, seeing the owners, quickly retreat. The girls also go home. The next day, Hannah's mother leaves for a conference, putting her little brother Uli in her care. The girl grumbles in annoyance. What is she? This brat's babysitter? But right before her mother leaves, they make peace. During the exam, Elmar leaves the classroom, slipping the girl a short note. They meet in another room, where he tries to tell her that he likes her and kisses her. Hearing the air raid alarm, the teenagers return to class. Elmar is convinced the alarm is not a drill. Even the clock in the classroom has stopped. And he tries to convince the teacher that it's a warning of an accident at the nearby nuclear power plant. The school begins an emergency evacuation, but Hannah cannot leave without her younger brother, who needs to be picked up from another school. She leaves in a car with other classmates, who are happy for the sudden chance to skip lessons and hang out. Apparently, there has been a massive release at the Mark Ebersberg nuclear reactor near the city of Schweinfurt. Unfortunately, that's exactly where Hannah's mother had gone. Elmar's parents head to an airfield to leave on a private plane, and he tells them on the phone that if he doesn't show up in an hour, they should fly without him. When Hannah gets home, she sees that her brother is already there, brought back on a school bus. Neighbors are leaving in droves, but the children can't leave because they have no other car. Elmar finally gets into his house, but can't find the car keys. It looks like his father took them. Hannah and her brother close all the windows and hide in the basement. They can't get in touch with their mother and are very worried. Finally, she calls them herself, telling them to head to Hamburg to stay with their aunt, because it's too dangerous to remain in the house. Suddenly, the connection is lost. Elmar hotwires the ignition and tries to start the car without keys. He finally manages it. Meanwhile, Hannah and Uli ride their bikes through the deserted city. Elmar arrives at her house, but she's already gone. At the city exit, there's panic and a crush. The roads for cars are blocked. In the sky, the looming radioactive cloud is already visible. In this situation, kids on bikes have the advantage. They cross a field while everyone else is held back by police at barricades. Still, some manage to break through, and they see a few cars speeding across the field. Before the highway, Uli can't brake in time as he speeds downhill, and he is hit by a car. Hannah lifts her brother's lifeless body and cries over him right in the middle of the road. Drivers who arrive carry the boy's body into roadside bushes and drag the struggling Hannah with them. Near the train station, there is a massive traffic jam. People abandon their cars on the highway and run for the train. Sirens wail, crowds of people are everywhere, and the trains are packed. The station doors are closed, but the furious crowd breaks through and floods into the carriages. Everything looks like an apocalypse. Hannah spots Elmar in the crowd, but he doesn't see her. The girl collapses onto the concrete floor as the crazed crowd runs past. She hears nothing. She's in post-traumatic shock. Eventually, she leaves the station and walks back into the city. In the sky, a nuclear storm is already approaching. Flashes of distant lightning cut through the smoky clouds, and radioactive rain begins to fall. Hannah lies down on the cobblestones, face down, sobbing under the streams of toxic water. She comes to in a temporary hospital near Hamburg. An IV is in her arm, and medics bustle around. A young doctor with kind eyes named Hannes promises to check on her mother. One by one, the patients around her die. Hannah's condition worsens. Her hair begins to fall out in clumps, and she suffers constant nausea. Eventually, she becomes a pale copy of her former self, like a little old woman with sparse gray hair. One day, Hannah sees Elmar rushing into the ward, determined to get to her. But she's afraid to even turn toward him. He doesn't care, though, because he's come to be with her. Her headscarf falls from her bald head, and she's deeply ashamed to appear before her beloved like this. But he comforts her, holding and kissing her. The lovers seek privacy and sneak up to the hospital roof. Elmar tells Hannah about his beloved mother, who is partially paralyzed after a stroke. Around his neck, he wears a ring his mother gave him in London when they traveled through Europe together. The boy promises his beloved that they will stay together and overcome her illness. Finally, Hannah's aunt arrives and brings her sad news of her mother's death. The girl blames herself for her brother's death. Her mother had always said she was too immature to take responsibility. If she had watched over him more carefully, he would still be alive. To comfort her, Elmar puts on music and invites her to dance. He promises her all kinds of romantic nonsense, baths full of roses and planes in the sky writing her name in the clouds. Suddenly, Elmar's father arrives, demanding that his son immediately leave the hospital for those exposed to radiation. Elmar doesn't want to go, but Hannah pushes him away. She wants him to be healthy. Why hadn't she thought of that before? A few days later, her aunt takes the girl out of the hospital. She gives her niece a beautiful hat, but Hannah pushes the gift away. In Hamburg, she enrolls at the university. One day on the bus, Hannah meets Micah, her school friend. Micah is not contaminated. She and her family managed to leave on the last train. Hannah is in no hurry to talk to her friend. She realizes that from now on, she is an outcast among people. Everyone avoids the bald girl because no one wants to risk radiation exposure. Closer to winter, she spots Elmar on the street by chance, but walks away from him. He catches up and tries to talk. A passerby warns him that he shouldn't be speaking to someone contaminated. Elmar angrily attacks the man, punching him, and sets a date with Hannah for that evening at the town hall. The girl postpones a planned trip with her aunt and goes to meet the boy. Near the town hall at a newsstand, she buys the latest issue and sees the headlines. Zone number 3 is open again for visitors. He comes up from behind and covers her eyes with his hands. Picking her up onto his back, Elmar carries her through the city. Both are happy to be together again. Sitting on the darkening waterfront, Hannah tells her beloved that her little brother is still lying there, unburied, in the roadside bushes. She doesn't know when she'll be able to lay him to rest, nor how much time she herself has left to live. The boy comforts her, saying that doctors are giving good forecasts. At Hannah's apartment, they spend the night together. In the morning, he discovers numerous sores on his body. Elmar leaves without even saying goodbye and shows his chest to his parents upon returning home. He tells them he will not go with them to America. His mother and father cry as they hug him. During the day, Hannah sees him outside the university window. He tells her he is leaving for the United States because of his mother. He adds that he loves her, and that none of it is her fault. Returning inside, Hannah bursts into bitter tears, collapsing onto the concrete floor. At her aunt's house, they look through old and more recent family photos, remembering the relatives they lost. At the medical center, where Hannah regularly goes for checkups, she meets a former ward neighbor. The woman lets slip that Elmar is here now, in the inpatient wing. On one of the beds in the shared room, the girl spots her boyfriend's ring, but Elmar himself is not there. She finds him on the roof. He is standing at the edge in pouring rain. The boy admits he received a massive dose of radiation when leaving the city. Crying, Hannah comforts him. Now it's her turn to say they will handle everything together. When Elmar is discharged from the clinic, the two of them drive to the place where little Uli died, searching for his body in the dry cornfield. Finding what is left of her brother, Hannah stands over the remains for a long time, unable to say a word. Elmar digs a grave, and the lovers bury Uli, leaving on the fresh mound a toy monkey that had been lying by the roadside all this time. On the way back, the couple notices that Hannah's first new hairs are starting to grow. Overjoyed, she jumps up onto the seat of the open-top cabriolet and turns her head into the wind, spreading her arms wide. Maybe there is still hope for both of them. A documentary caption at the end of the film states that there are still 17 nuclear power plants operating in the Federal Republic of Germany, with new malfunctions constantly being recorded at each of them. And at that moment, the film ends. Thank you all for watching this video until the very end. Give this video a like. Write in the comments what you think about this film. And see you in the next videos.